Are these still the match made in heaven, or for people wanting to ride a bike and just look and like really enjoy it, or not quite? So find out as I share my update on the Adidas Velosambas. So the Adidas Velosambas, I've probably had these for about, I think it's like 6 months now, and I wanted to do like a longer term review and a bit of an update about what I think of these, how I'm getting on, how they're looking. I haven't really cleaned them, but they've stood up pretty well actually, so that's kind of pretty cool. So I'm basically a 9 to 5 office worker. My name's Salvatore. I started cycling about like now 8 years ago, and I totally wished I had these when I started. I'm still going to reiterate that point from my initial review video, but this time I'm like, it's so important because I use these all the time now, and they're just so great for commuting, getting around, running errands, and like unless you're doing like a really serious bike ride, you can pretty much use these, including for that as well if you really want, for everything that you need to do, which is awesome. So that's kind of cool. So I guess this is like an update. So the cool thing about this is, and what I've noticed more and more, is that people don't know their cycling shoes. They're really like sneaky like that. So I got my hair cut, and my barber still doesn't know that these shoes are work with a bike. Like, I mean, all shoes work with the bike, but work with cleats, which is really cool. Like, they don't make any noise, they don't damage floorboards, leave scuff, make sounds. So they're just really well designed in that regard, and it's really kind of cool to see that happen in that way. Like just really good like engineering of like a product design point of view. But then like I kind of want to bring attention to probably the biggest con that I can think of, and I know it's like a little one, but it's important to note. These laces, like I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's like the tension of riding or maybe the fact that I need to use that hole, but they just like come undone, and it's really annoying. So you kind of have to tie them really tight. Maybe I just need to do double knots. Maybe that's the issue. But I noticed that that's kind of like a bit of a gripe. And then I guess another thing is sizing. So because these aren't really available in stores that I've ever kind of noticed, that only would be available in like Adidas, but not all Adidases would carry this. Like I know I'm in Australia, so it's maybe more of a niche market. So it might be like bigger countries and bigger like shops, if that makes sense. So I have to get it online. Now you can use your normal Samba reference. So you like try Adidas Samba shoe on, kind of find the right fit and get that, and it's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But like if you wanted like complete comfort, I guess that is more of like a con to like exactly get the right one. Now that's just like a slight gripe, and I guess this is like another point to consider for like long-term review. This happens with all cycling shoes, is maintenance. Now you just want to check like the bottom here, these bolts, they do loosen over time because you're like, you know, clipping in, clipping out. So it will inevitably like loosen the tension in there. So you just want to check, because if it kind of comes loose, it's difficult to unclip from them. So that's just something to bear in mind. So that's kind of really something to notice with that. So but that's with all bike shoes though, really. So it's not really a con, it's more of an observation, particularly if you're getting into cycling, these are the first shoes you get. Just remember to check the tension on them. So that's kind of cool. Now, I guess that kind of goes to my next point, like color. These do go with a lot of outfits I wear. They're pretty classic. So that's kind of a good thing. But like for my like color palette, as you can see what I like normally wear in my other videos, I would prefer if there's like a more of a like a lighter brown. Now there are some really nice brown cream colorways, but those ones were like limited edition, and they're like really expensive. The closest thing I can find is these champagne ones that released, and I'm kind of tempted to get them, but they're still between the price of like 219 and $230 by the time we have shipping like to Australia. So it's like it is worth it, but considering I got those for like 100, it's just like, well, it's still like a bit of money as well, you know what I mean? So there's also like an all white version of the Velosambas. They look pretty cool as well. So they're not bad. I'm trying to figure out like what if you to my audience, if I had to get one, what should I get? Like, you know, let's do a vote in the comments below. That'd be cool. to kind of get a bit of feedback, and I'll potentially get them. Maybe that can be the deciding factor. Which colorway of Velosambas do I get next? And I'll do a review on them as well. So that's kind of cool. So I think you need to have a shoe that just looks like really normal in terms of color palette and ideas, because then more people are likely to buy it and use it, and then that just means that they can enjoy it, and then it just spreads the brand of it more, opposed to there's some really weird like bold colorways, and like the soles like are funky colors. Like I know that they're trying to be different from like I guess a Samba, but it's also kind of like, I think, play to your strengths, and that's kind of something I've noticed, because those ones go on like big sale, so they kind of like, you know, don't sell as much. I know it's a very niche product itself in the Adidas lineup, but I think if they've kind of like invested into this year on year and coming out with different colorways, like that's something that they could probably learn from this video, I'd say, is my observation. And the cool thing about these type of shoes is I used to like collect sneakers and like do all that, but this is kind of like a nice middle ground in terms of being able to have like a cool sneaker like a Samba, but it also like mixes, like, because I used to play soccer as a kid, it mixes your love of like your current passion, which is like cycling, to kind of see Samba, which is a very well-known shoe now to the whole world, to cycling is kind of like exactly what I'm about. I'm about encouraging everyone and demystifying the idea of cycling to get everyone to their fittest, fastest self, save heaps of money, and have a great quality of life in the process. That's what I'm all about. So it kind of feels like it's a natural reflection of me, if that makes sense. So that's kind of really cool. But yeah, now I guess at the time of writing and even recording this, I do note that when I pick up the shoes, they are heavy, if that makes sense. But they don't feel heavy when you walk around. My feet have never felt uncomfortable in walking around in them, because they're really like squishy, the sole, like the inner sole, I should say. So I will say that these shoes, as much as like I've walked around and used them, I almost don't notice that they're cycling shoes until I get on the bike. But even when I'm on the bike, they don't suffer in that regard. Like they're very good. Like I can ride really fast on them and they just keep up, and they're like they're stiff enough that they can just hold their own and really transfer a lot of power, but also just looks so cool. So it kind of, it's like more of a, I feel it makes you faster too, knowing that like, it just looks so cool. I don't know, like maybe it's just a side thing, but yeah, I guess in revisiting this, would I still recommend those of you to get these? Yes. I'd say be considerate of the colorways, because find something that you can integrate into your wardrobe and wear more every day, because that's the whole point of this. You want to make getting on the bike as seamless and easy as possible, especially like if you're using it to like run errands, commute to work or whatever. So that kind of is crucial for that. Now, I guess if you were trying to find more colorways, you don't want to go through like a grey market, like reseller, try Adidas but different countries. So I'm on the Japanese website, I can see the colorways I want. Try the US, try the Philippines ships to Australia. Like, get creative, and that's probably a little bonus tip I can give to you. If you find a particular colorway that you really like but it's not in your country, just shop around basically, and yeah, go into the Adidas store to get your Samba sizing, and that will be a pretty good indicator of your actual sizing. So that's pretty cool. So these shoes fit to the brand ethos of conquering mountains and conquering life, because you're more likely to consistently ride the bike and reap the benefits of that every day by having a shoe like this, which is very beginner friendly for cyclists, to conquer mountains, conquer life. Thank you. Now, if you'd like to conquer mountains and conquer life in a physical and also metaphorical sense, click the link in the description below for Life Cycles. It's $10, takes you through everything you need to getting a bike, the perfect bike for you as well, and the perfect fit, to saving thousands of dollars on the bike, save hundreds of dollars on bike clothing, equipment, everything else that you need now and need later to kind of, you know, take you through your journey, your training, your recovery, your food to eat, your bloods, everything to consider that I wished I had when I started, that it kind of took me through in a very OCD, step-by-step like process, like getting the bike, getting on the bike, getting off the bike, like in a very logical like idea. And the point about Life Cycles is it's a book that you can use and learn from to ride a bike for the rest of your life and have amazing quality of life and benefits. So you can get up every day and conquer mountain and conquer life.